Good morning, dear friends. Today is 20th of February, and as we see, the holiday in the United States is over, the President's Day. The Asian market is still in the kind of long celebration of the New Year Eve, and probably the main topic of today is the stabilization of the dollar against the lows of Friday. As you can see, the dollar index, which traded against the basket of six major pairs, at the moment is 1% higher against the lows of Friday. And what's interesting, we are at the moment we are in the very interesting kind of situation. How the market will react to the current of correction in the dollar price. Should this kind of correction consolidation proceed further, or the dollar sooner or later will return to its underlying bearish trend? Regarding the euro dollar, is probably our major pair to predict, to analyze. We'd like to say one interesting thing, kind of bothering one, that on a daily chart, euro dollar formed a kind of small double top formation. What's interesting, on Friday, despite of the higher high, now we are speaking technically, momentum indicators like MACD or stochastic did not confirm the move, and from this point of view it's a kind of technically a red flag for the euro bulls. Of course, the situation is not so dangerous. Anyway, we have to be patient and we have to be vigilant, because the market could really turn around from the highs of last week and move to the south. And in this case, we probably even could reach, for example, this uptrend line, which lies today around 120.30, the uptrend line which was drawn from the lows of November below 116. As you remember, the low was 115.5 approximately. Accelerated uptrend lies today around 122.90, and while above this trend line, we still see the euro dollar higher from here. That's why we are still sticking to our bullish trading strategy. We're still keeping our long trade recommendation accumulated on Friday at 124.60, probably a little bit earlier. And now we are ready to increase a position on a possible retest of the support line at 123 with a stop below moving average 4-hour line, which intersects today at 121.81. That's why, as you can see from our strategy list, we put a stop below 22.80. Anyway, even in case of a deeper move below this kind of support, we will pursue a bullish strategy in the euro dollar. But let's speak about this some later, and let's see how the market will evolve further in the coming hours and sessions. The dollar yen, we reconsider the situation in the dollar yen because the kind of accelerated downtrend was broken, and now we suggest to wait for a possible retest of a more important resistance line around 107.90 to resell the pair with a stop above 108.05. Even in case of more a stronger move to the upside and a possible retest of the short-term downtrend, which lies today at 108.75, we will resell the pair at 108.70 because we're still sticking to our idea that the yen crosses as well as dollar yen should move lower from here. The cable still trading slightly below psychological important level of 140. Anyway, the trend is still quite bullish, and we still keep our long position at 140 with a stop below 39.15. Break above accelerated downtrend at 41.15.20 should increase the short-term kind of momentum, a bullish momentum in the pair, and probably refocus attention on the recent highs around 143.45. The dollar Swiss, like in the dollar yen, we're afraid of probably a more strong move to the upside. That's why we are refuse to sell the pair at 93.40 because it will be higher than the short-term downtrend, as well as higher than 1 hour moving average, which lies today at 93.28. That's why we are ready to resell the pair slightly higher at 93.70 with a stop above 94.10. Probably it could happen today in case of, for example, if the dollar will proceed further to the upside, and in case of continuous rebound in the stock market. But let's see how the situation will develop further, because as you can see, the Nikkei now in the red territory. So anyway, the dollar yen is higher. Probably now the dollar is more or less stronger because of rising United States Treasury yields. As you can see, the 10-year Treasury yield now moving above 2.90 and very close to a very important level of 3%. Break above this level, of course, should lay the ground for future for a future strength of the United States currency, but vice versa depending on the situation, because you know how much other problems have the United States economy, like for example the ballooning twin deficit, the budget one and the current account one, as well as some other factors like accelerated inflation in case of further overheating of the economy, which also should not bode well for the United States currency. The Australian dollar, we still keep our long trade recommendation because the offer in the pair did not never trade below our stop loss level of 78.90. So we prefer to keep our long strategy here. Still expect a possible rebound to 0.81 to cut the position. In the New Zealand dollar, we still prefer to wait for a dip closer to moving average 4-hour line, which lies today at 72.90, to buy again with a stop below accelerated uptrend at 72.40. As regarding the dollar Canada, we still pursue the idea of selling the currency at 26.40 with a stop above a resistance line of 127. And in the euro yen, like in the euro Swiss and in the euro sterling, we pursue a more flexible trading strategy of buying the dips and selling the rallies. Regarding the euro ruble, the ruble market will open in half an hour. That's of course depending on the situation with energy prices, but as you can see, the Brent is more or less stable around 65.50, but we still expect that sooner or later the Brent will resume its down move, and this should unsupport the Russian currency. And from this point of view, still suggest in the euro ruble, for example, that any dips closer to pivotal uptrend line at 68.95 should present for you a longer term strategy to buy the currency and to pursue higher levels. Anyway, also be aware that probably at the moment the market is developing a kind of triple top against the highs of 72.10. As you can see, this top, and this top, also like in the euro dollar, we have a kind of small double top. Here we have a kind of longer term triple top. It's not a kind of good technical manner, kind of pattern, and that's eventually could lead the pair lower, but only in case of dip below a longer term uptrend line, as well as moving average 200 daily line, which lies today at 68.33. At the moment, that's all. It was a future trend with you. If you have any kind of questions, we are absolutely open to them. You can send us any kind of question by email or here on the YouTube channel. We wish you a nice day ahead and hope that tomorrow in the morning you will be with us. See you later and bye bye for now.